Welcome, all you Hoover, fixer, lonely guys, and all the underage girls you've fallen in love with. It's just, I can't do it. Welcome, all you Hoover fixer-uppers and all you young flower sellers on the street. It's time for another episode of Cozy Quilt Cinema. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth. Strumming 3 chords I know on a secondhand guitar, and somehow that's enough to change everything. Every week, Michelle and I curl up on the couch, we watch a movie, and then we carry it into the studio and rethink it like Vivian Kensington, realizing she's been wrong about Elle the whole time. It's not a critical review, though we probably will be critical. Can 2 people fall completely in love through music and still walk away? And is that beautiful or devastating? Or did this movie just make us feel both at the same time? Wrap yourself in your Zaza's weighted blanket, climb into the blanket fort, and let's click play. They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Okay, and your non sequiturs scare me sometimes. It was hard enough to get through my intro.
Yeah, that was fun for me.
So we are just...
I was channeling Gus doing that.
I know. And yeah. Psych, you will damage me forever.
Mainly because of me.
So we're discussing the 2006 movie Once.
Is it 2006 or 2007?
I've seen it both ways. Thank you, Psych, yet again.
It's true, though, because I have seen it both ways. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's at the cusp. Maybe it was in December to January. I
am honestly unsure, because, again, I have seen it in a couple different places with both dates.
IMDb has it, it's 2006, but I've seen it in other places saying 2007.
Well, this was an international movie, so maybe it was released in
there
multiple.
You go. That makes sense. So I bet IMDb is counting it as the world release and the other places are U.S. only.
Yes, and that was the cat jumping off a shelf because he can't do anything with
He didn't jump off a shelf. He sounded like he fell and hurt himself.
I would say that, but I did see him jump because he is
he's a big fluffy 80-pound cat.
He's not 80 pounds. But
you say that every time, but I have yet to see proof he's not.
We have the litter box that tells you how much he weighs.
It maxes out and says that he cannot tell.
Oh, it's all of his fluff. He can't help it.
Yeah,
He's got fluff.
That's what's weighing him down.
All that fluff. That pound of feathers, it's still a pound.
So why don't you tell us what Once is about?
So let me change my page here. Click, 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 click. Okay. Once is basically, and this is going to be the shortest summary ever because there's a lot to this movie, but yet not very much. It is about an Irish busker who meets a Czech girl, and she likes his music, and he kind of likes her, and they begin writing songs together, and they end up recording an album. They both develop feelings for one another. Her husband, dun, 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 was still back in her home country of the Czech Republic. And at the end of the movie, after they finish recording the album, he's going to London so that way he can try to make the album into something. And she tells him that her husband is coming to live with her in London. And so they basically part ways. And that is really the movie.
Okay.
I can't get any more. There's nothing else about, there's a lot that happens, but yet that is it.
Okay. Well, I have not seen this movie before. Mm-hmm. I'm brand new to it.
Yes.
It's only been 20 years in the making, but I finally got there.
Yes.
How did you feel when you first saw it back in the day, 20 years ago?
So
when you went on opening night?
First, it bothers me to think that it's been 20 years. Because we were living at the farmhouse.
Yeah.
So that makes me sad. And And the fact that, that just, sorry, I had like a whole flash of, because I have a lot of memories that go along with this. So for me, I wanted to see this movie. I was actually living in Texas when I had learned about it.
Right.
I didn't see it for like, I think a year or two afterwards. I was working at the dog grooming shop, and we would watch daytime TV while we were grooming. And I think it was like one of those morning shows, and they had Glenn Hansard on there, and the broken down guitar that he has. And Kelly and I were not really addressing, like paying 100% attention. But she was like, oh, that guy, they made a movie, but like he was a busker, and like, look at his guitar. And she really felt bad that like she was just like commiserating with this poor guy who just, didn't have anything, and now he's getting fame and stuff. And they played Falling Slowly, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. And then that was it. I had to get the album. I listened to it, and that was back in the days of FrostWire and LimeWire.
Right.
So bitch did not pay for that album, but I had it on my iTunes. I'm pretty sure if I could get access to my iTunes now, it's still there.
That's how they get you.
No, but I mean, I probably still have it on my computer in my original iTunes folders.
Yeah.
And yeah, I listened to the Swell season over and over and over again. And when I had moved back east, I remember that's when I got to see the movie, and I had no idea really other than just the album. So it was nice to see the movie, and it called to me. It was it's a sad romantic movie. It does not have the ending that you want for a romance, but yet at the same time, it is kind of satisfying because, yeah, I'll go into that later. It's just, I adored this. I really have no words for it, really. I just know that the movie has always stuck with me, and the album has always been a part of me since I had the very first time I heard the song.
Okay.
So,
well, this was directed and written by John Carney.
Yes, he did it in 5 minutes. He did.
It didn't take much.
No, I mean, and again, like I say, it's not much of a movie, but yet it is a lot. And I think it's because of, well, yes, the music, but it's the scenes, it's the moments in the movie.
Okay. Well, he did Begin Again, Sing Street, and Flora and Son.
He also produced Modern Marvels.
Really?
Yes. So
I did not expect that.
He was in. So Glenn Hansard was originally in the band The Frames, and so was John Carney.
Right.
So they had written the songs together for this movie, and originally it was going to be Cillian Murphy who was going to do it.
Okay.
But who was actually like on the cusp of being, going either into acting and or music. Like he was doing a little bit of both.
Right.
And he pulled out because he didn't want to work up against a 17-year-old girl who had no acting skills. And he also was afraid he wouldn't be able to hit the notes because of Hansard's.
Oh, yeah.
He's got high. Those octaves.
Yeah.
So he pulled out, and they really kind of were in a bind, and also lost a lot of their funding because of that. And so John ended up going, hey, Glenn, you wrote the songs. Please just perform them. And Markéta, so.
Yeah, easy enough.
Yeah.
Right. So I love the way this film opens. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do a blow by blow.
No.
But I want to talk about this because it was what it does for me is it marks, I wouldn't say the realism, it marks the stark reality that this art is portraying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is autobiographical or semi-autobiographical?
So it's not. John Carney wrote it as a long. So it was a love story. It is a love story, but he had been going through a breakup, or he had a long distance relationship that was breaking up, and that's when he wrote this movie. So the distance and him, and the guy's relationship with his ex-girlfriend and his longing and everything. That is where it That's where you get this story, is that relationship and the long distance part of it.
Okay.
Rest of it is just kind of a thing.
Okay, so it's not autobiographical. I just want to make sure people understand that this is not a retelling.
As far as I am aware.
But the way this opens, it's so indie that it feels like they just filmed their lives.
Well, I don't think they could get the permits to film in Dublin. So what they did was they used the long lenses. And so all the people who like walk in front of them, they have no idea that they're being filmed.
Right. So they're just filming from like the other side of the street or up in up in an apartment somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So the film opens again, I'm going to say, to this drunk thief stealing the busker's, well, not just the earnings, but his entire case.
Yes. Just which is runs, a soft case. So,
and he knows it's going to happen.
It collapses as he runs.
He warns them several times, don't do this, don't do it. And he still steals it and runs off. But this is not, NYPD Blue or this isn't some kind of cop show, maybe Cop Rock. No, not Cop Rock. But he runs out of gas very quickly.
They're both wheezing at one point.
I know, but the thief is drunk. He's tired. He can't make it very far. And
he's so obvious. He's like doing that whole, like standing back, stiff back, looking both ways. He's gonna grab it. He's gonna grab it.
Yeah, and the guy.
Yeah, they don't have names. It's just guy and girl.
Yeah, the guy just gives him the money.
Yeah, because he's like, you fucking earned it at this point.
just fuck off.
Just go, man.
Yeah, just fuck off.
Well, so back to the long lenses, because people didn't know that that there was a movie being made, one of the bystanders actually injures the guy who plays the thief. He knees him in the groin. So he got injured while filming this because he didn't know it was not a real robbery.
That's good, though. That means he did really good on his acting. So if you convince people that you're really stealing something.
I guess so.
If people walk by the busker and throw change in, did they do that? I wonder if they did.
They probably did.
That would be awesome. I mean, first of all, he's already a musician.
Yes.
But to busk for the movie and have other people drop change in is also pretty fun,
Yeah. I mean, and I would say, Glenn Hansard made himself look a little bit rough just for this movie, but I've seen pictures of him. Even now, he still looks rough.
Yeah, but he's so cute.
He is adorable, but he has, I guess it's because, I have this image of him from 20 fucking years ago. So seeing a picture of him recently kind of threw me a little bit.
Well, I'm sure it does, but in the movie,
he's adorable.
He's got a cute face.
Oh, he's adorable. He's got those very intense eyes, though.
Sure.
Sometimes he gets a little bit like too kind of like, you're going to murder somebody.
Yeah. But he is very cute, and so is she. They're both adorable. We just did the same thing. I know,
because I think we both have the same thought.
Yeah, there's an ickiness to this.
And that is where my issues come in with this movie, mostly with Mr. Hansard. He met Markéta Irglová when she was 13, and her parents were involved in creating a music festival in their home country of Czechia. I think it was like one of the first ones or something like that. And it's what I guess the Czech Republic became. I could be very wrong about that one. But I did look up the pronunciation. It is Czechia. So again, she was a baby. In this movie, she is 17 when she's filming it. Now, they do have a relation. They had a 2-year relationship from when she was 19, right when this movie was released. And she was 19 years old. So it's icky because he's in his 30s. No, they're not together. No, she is happily married to, as far as I know, to someone else and moved on with her life. And so has he. But it does have the ick factor. And the first time I saw this, I didn't realize how young she was, because as somebody who gets mistaken for how old I am all the time, I just assumed she looked young.
Oh, no, I was like, wow.
Well, you knew, though. Young. But you knew. But see, I didn't know the first time I saw it.
Honestly, when we were watching it, I forgot this is the actual person and not an actress playing the person.
Playing.
And I was like, she's so young. Oh, oh, this is her.
This is her. Yeah. And I love her accent. I love it so much. It's so cute. I love it. That is like one of those accents that I just adore so much. But yeah, that is the ick factor in this. And especially when you start to go, okay, but I'm not sure how old she's supposed to be in the movie, other than the fact that, she had to get permission from her school to take a leave of absence so she could film this.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it was filmed in like 17 days, but still, the ick factor, it is real, people.
I think the thing that mediates it for the movie is the fact that they don't ever consummate that.
No.
They don't kiss.
No.
They don't do anything.
When they're at the ocean and he asks her, what's the Czech word for ocean? And then he asks her, what's the Czech word for, or how do you say, do you still love him or something like that? She replies to him in her language. And I'm not even going to attempt to repeat it. But what she does say, the translation is, I don't love him. I love you. So she does tell him that she loves him. But that's as far as it goes. Because before that, she had told him about, that the reason why she got married was, and 2 years prior she got married, was when she got pregnant with her daughter.
And he was far older.
Yeah.
So this is icky, but it's that thing of distance.
Yes.
Because they keep the distance to it.
And it's ickier in the real life aspects than it is in the movie aspects. Because even in the movie, again, you can tell they do have feelings, but that's as literally as far as it goes. The hug at the piano is the most intimate that they have.
Right. And you can tell at the end, there may be more story later, but not now.
Not now. And again, her husband has come back and, he did buy her the piano. That was the sweet thing.
Yeah.
I do hate that. So because of the funding being pulled in this film, John Carney ended up using a lot of his own personal money to keep it going. So he actually paid the salary for Glenn Hansard and Markéta Irglová. And she took her money from, now granted they definitely got royalties because it was
Right.
And the movie did make it pretty big. It had awards. And when they finished filming the scene in the music store for Falling Slowly, when the cameras cut, Glenn goes and the Oscar and the Academy Award or something like that, and they won. They did win for that song. It was very prophetic. So the thing that really kind of bugs me though is that Markéta took her part of what she earned and bought him a classic motorcycle. I know it's not my life, but it just made me feel like, oh, girl, she was so young.
I kind of get that though, because it's kind of like I got my first like actual paying job because my dad helped me get it.
Yeah.
He knew someone and they gave me a chance. And that's working as a line cook at Sonic. And the first thing I did was buy my dad a rod and reel, which he was an avid fisherman.
Yeah, but that's your parent.
Well, it's not really about being, like her being in love with him. It's more showing that you appreciate somebody.
I guess
for that part of your life that you may have not had otherwise.
Yeah.
And I think you can separate that from the emotional aspect of romanticism.
True.
Or at least I believe you can. I think I want to do really nice things for people I'm not romantic with, but I appreciate them and I want them to know that I hear and see what they're interested in. And those gifts are applied thusly. Mm-hmm. I look for those things to apply to them so that they know I see them.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what gifts are really for, is to show someone that you see them. If you're giving gifts and their emotional thing is you got me something and not, oh, I really like this and I really appreciate this, then I think you probably haven't gotten them a gift.
I think when I give gifts, I don't think people get what my intentions are. Like, I try to get people things that I know they won't buy themselves.
No, I think they get that. I get that when you do it for me.
You get it, but I don't think other people do. I think
they should.
Get like kind of weirded out by it, but I like doing that. You know, for me, it's getting somebody.
No,
something.
That's fine. Everybody's got the reasons for why they do gifts. For me, it's because I want someone to know they've been seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like one of the harder things to do.
A couple of years ago, when I was working in elementary school, I had bought those little poppers, fidgets thingies, and I was giving them to the teachers, not the kids. And the teachers would look at me odd, and I'd go, "You wouldn't buy this for yourself, but you play with them when it's your kid, when you're students, and you would totally get it for your students. Nobody buys things for the teachers for Christmas, little toys like this." So I was giving it to the teachers. They still thought I was weird. Oh,
that's okay. You are weird, but in a good way.
Oh, well, it's what I am. But yeah, this there's a lot I love about this. This actually became a Broadway and West End film play.
I don't know how.
Because it's all music.
I still don't know how.
Arthur Darvill he played the guy. He played Guy in it.
I still don't know how. Because this movie is more about what's not said.
Oh, no, totally.
The things that aren't said, the things that aren't discussed.
Because they're saying the words of the songs in a way.
Well, it's not even the songs. The songs are a lot of times the background, but what I'm getting is the silence. It's the looks. Or maybe even the simple thing of his father, which I think is adorable. His
dad is the sweetest.
Who you believe is standoffish and is probably disapproving. When they're playing in his room, in his tiny bedroom with the full band, and his father comes in with tea and cookies or tea and scones or whatever, then I'm like, that is so sweet. He's a sweet man who supports his son. They're just poorer.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody in this is poor. Nobody's like well-to-do in this. Everybody's just making it.
They literally go to get a loan just so they can rent the studio.
Right. Which I was like, how are they going to fund this when they go into the studio? I'm like,
I like how she tries to haggle with the guy about it.
She doesn't try. She does.
Oh, she does haggle.
And he shuts the hell up. And during the whole thing, Guy sits back while this 13-year-old.
Well, she's 17.
Yeah, but in the movie, she's supposed to be 13?
No.
Oh, is she 17 in the
17.
movie?
Well, no, she's 17. She was 13 when her parents, when he met her off, like in real life. She's 17 when they're filming, and I think she's 19 in the movie. I'm assuming.
Okay. Very young girl.
Very young. She's still teen.
Versus 30-something-year-old man.
Who's letting this little girl,
who sits back, and she does not only the haggling, but she also haggles with the bank to get the loan.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't just haggle. Personally, I think she would have been better as a manager for him.
Oh, probably.
Than she would be as a piano player. Although, I'm sure she's a fine piano player.
I mean, yeah, that's her.
But she had the strength of a manager. Somebody who could actually get shit done. Well, while he would have sat there and busked for his entire life, she was the reason why he decided to do this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. She is definitely not a go-getter. She had 2 jobs. She sold magazines and flowers, and then she got a job as a cleaner. She took her mom and her daughter and moved to Dublin from the Czech Republic, leaving the husband behind because it was not something she wanted at the moment. And she's the one, you're right. She sees him performing on the street at night, and we were both commenting about how, oh my God, it was one of his louder songs, and it's like, that is not a nighttime appropriate song.
How are there no cops beating the crap out of him?
And he says, because she goes, why don't you perform these songs during the day? And he says, well, people don't want to hear those. They want to hear the songs that they know. So I save my originals for nighttime. And she's like, well, you should perform them, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, he tells her, well, during the day, I also have a job, that he fixes vacuum cleaners. And so she's like, oh, so if I bring my vacuum cleaner, you'll fix it. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah. Well, she comes back with the walk in that vacuum cleaner, because it's one of the
like a dog.
Yeah, it's one of the canister ones on wheels, and she's walking it, and brings it up to him in the middle of the day, and she's like, so I brought my Hoover. You're going to fix it, right? And she's like, so I brought my Hoover. You're going to fix it, right? And he's like, right now? And I kind of, I feel like that's when he really, like, she won him over. Because he's just like the moxie on this one, And she does. She literally embodies the word moxie. She is, she's adorable, and she has no care. And she has care, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't care what other people think of her. And you can tell.
No, she reminds me of a 19-year-old you.
Oh, no, I cared a lot about what people thought about me.
No matter what you felt internally, you projected not caring.
Mm. Yeah,
you projected that moxie, that kind of... I don't want to say that the pixie dream girl
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say that because you weren't. But you were very close to it in the fact that you kind of just, I don't know, you made the room alive.
I was trying to make everybody laugh because I was trying to fit in with a bunch of adults.
I don't know that it was about laughter. I think it was more about just your energy. You had an energy that brought people up to your level rather than anyone being drugged down. I drugged people down when I entered a room because I was a dour, very upset person. I didn't like my life. I didn't like life in general.
I never thought I had that effect on people because honestly, I feel like I'm always just trying to, fake it all the time. And especially back then, because again, I had no idea what I was doing on the regular.
Okay, the way his face looks whenever she enters a room, that's how you made people feel when you came in. Maybe it was just me that felt that way.
Maybe it was because I felt like I was awkward because you've heard my high school stories.
Sure.
No.
I think that you would find that people's stories about you in high school would be drastically different than you believed them to be.
And those bitches should have talked to me when they had the chance because I would not have known.
Again, we're not going to know these things. No. You're not going to get everybody's internal thoughts.
No.
But I am saying that you probably are, your own internal feelings play very little into what people feel about you.
I guess so, maybe.
So for her, she is this dynamic person who is in a situation in which she is kept. Mm-hmm. She has a mother who she feels... she has to help and take care of and be with.
Well, her mother watches her child all day long. So
she has a child that, I'm getting to that.
Sorry.
And she has a child that she has to watch and is, responsible for and loves. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
And they're very poor, like most people in this film. Mm-hmm. They're living off of what she can make selling flowers, and that kind of thing. And then, he's busking. He's not making any money either. He's barely making it because he's got a job with his father fixing Hoovers.
And again, with his dad, though, I love how when he plays the finished album for his dad, and his dad is like, he's like, I think I'm going to go to London. And he's like, about damn time.
Yeah.
And he had been saving money for him just so he could go and get an apartment and try to make something of himself other than just being stuck. But when I wrote down the word community, because where the girl lives, like when the guys first you notice it when she goes into her apartment and she's just talking to the guys. So, how was work? And, you have a good day and da-da-da-da-da. And then they show up at her apartment to watch TV because in the whole building, they just have the one TV. And how they don't have a phone when, like, later on when the guy goes and asks if he can call her later on. And her mother's like, well, we don't have a phone. 2007. And that is a reality, and it doesn't seem like it should be in 2007. But that's, a reality of being poor. But the community, as the part that gets me is like the people in that building, they are not seeing different, countries and different races and different backgrounds. They're just seeing, okay, well, you have this, so we can share it. And you have that, and we'll share it.
They have the one television in the building.
Yeah.
So these lads come over to watch television
And you see them at the end too when her husband is there.
Yeah.
And they're behind them on the couch watching TV while she's playing the piano. And so it's like, there's still that community. It still exists. And there's something very like endearing, and it draws me to it. I don't know. I just feel like we don't have enough of that.
Well, I think we had it when I was younger.
Oh yeah, no, we had it when I was younger.
Because we were very poor, and at one point we were living in a house that was owned by, I think, my great-grandfather's brother, my great uncle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure what that makes them, but it was a house that had just been empty.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of nowhere, even outside of the small town that I grew up in.
Yeah.
My parents, my aunt, and her kids, and me were all living in that house. And it was not a very big house, like like one of those shotgun houses.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very big house, but we had a front porch, a fairly, as wide as the house. And that's where everybody kind of hung out on and stuff. And I remember that very well, that everybody was just there. And I don't even think we had a television at the time. Mm-hmm. We had a radio, we had stuff like that. And people would come over and sit on the porch, just friends or whatever. So there's always a lot of people there and just us kids playing with whatever kids showed up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you had a lot of that back then. And I think when you're not doing well, when you're as rich as you're allowed to be, which is usually just poor, then you make your community, because that's all you can do. You can make community. If you can't make money, you can make friends.
Yeah. And again, we've talked about this too, is we were less connected to the world, so we were more connected to the people closer to us. Mm-hmm. I also had, at one point in my life, all of our family living in one house. And when I say all of our family, I mean aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff. And it was a pretty decent-sized house looking back, but it was out of circumstance and not out of, like, want, 100%. But we did have a big side porch, and my grandfather had turned it into a big dining room. Like, he literally took a piece of plywood and had it attached to a table to make the big table.
To make a big table.
And then had like tablecloths like stapled to it. But, that was still, and I remember like the big barbecues we would have in the community of that, but it was still not the same as the community that we had in California when we lived together. We didn't live together, but when we had, we would go over to your place and get together, or we would go to our other friend's house and their apartment and play D&D. And that was a community, but even then, it wasn't even the same as what you're seeing here. But for some reason, in this movie, it calls to me, like, to have that. So, I've said to you before how if we had to live in that one place up in Alaska, it's the giant building that everybody lives in the town, I could do it very easily. That's why, because that community, that sense of community that you would have to have in that type of a situation, sure. I could do it. As much as I like to be alone and I like to, to be home and to not talk to other people, that would be, I could do that.
I am not one of those people. I cannot do that. It doesn't, it would cause humans are messy. Humans are emotionally messy. I don't understand them. I would not.
You don't have to deal. You don't have to live with them. But
no, I'm saying I would not get their dynamics at any point. I would just annoy someone to the point of us coming to blows. That's usually the way it works. I annoy people because I don't get them and they don't get me.
No.
And that's okay. I don't need them to get me because I can just go home.
Yeah.
But if they're always there, you can't just go home.
Well, another aspect of community is that, like, when they first get the studio and the guy is kind of like really dumbfounded because they've never recorded before. So he was like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And they're like, well, why? And he's like, you've never recorded before. So he's
we got to set up your drums.
Yeah, and he's very exasperated by them in the beginning, but then he hears the songs, and I believe it's the When Your Mind Is Made Up, When Your Mind's Made Up song.
Yeah.
And that makes him go, oh, shit. This is going to be something.
Well, he warms up very quickly.
Oh, yeah. And then it's like
suddenly
a family.
he's just hanging out with them. And then, he becomes like their friend.
Yeah, because then he's like, so we've heard it through the good speakers. Now let's do the car test, and we'll go get in the car, and we'll drive around and listen through my shitty speakers in my car. And
then they hang out on the beach.
Yeah. and so, yeah, there is more to this movie than the basic overtone, but really, pretty much that's it.
Yeah, there's not a lot to the movie, and honestly, it was about I expected the romance to be there. I had not seen this film. I don't know much about them. I know they had a song together. That's really all I knew.
So, again, Glenn Hansard originally was in the band The Frames, and then he and Markéta Irglová got together, and that's the Swell season. And I think they had a couple albums. And now he does solo work.
Yeah.
She does solo work, but she was the national finalist for in Iceland for Eurovision, and she was one of 5 participants in the Czechia's first national final for Eurovision, where she came in 4th place. I didn't know you could do Eurovision if you have done stuff like I
have no idea.
Yeah, but and so also like the name of the movie Once. You sit there and you're like, what does that mean? Because a lot of times, movies obviously their title tends to mean something, but when you watch this whole movie and you're like, but what does once really have anything to do with? It means like when you say, well, like once I get through this, that's when I am going to go and work on getting, becoming famous, like us with our podcast. Once we can get through this, the Christmas, so we can afford it, then we're going to buy the equipment
to do the
start
podcast.
Our so once this is done, so that's what it was, the once, because we tend to all do that. Well, once we finish this, we'll move on to the next thing, but the next thing never gets done because we keep putting it off, and there's always one more once. And that was what the point of the title is.
Well, and I kind of get that for the ending. As she's looking out the window, and you can tell she's thinking about the person who got her the piano.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily wistful. It's just fondness.
Yeah.
And what I got from that was, this is something that was once upon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the once upon a time situation where this man was here for this amount of time, and I got this piano, and that's how I remember him.
Yes.
And then maybe something later, but right now it's once.
Yeah, I get that too.
I don't know. There's a lot to this movie that isn't a lot to this movie.
I know.
I didn't know how to take it. I expected there to be romance. And in a way there was, but it was mostly with the music.
And yeah.
You could tell Guy was in love with the music more than he was with people. But he was trying to find some kind of foothold, some kind of, I don't want to say leverage. That seems too ominous, but more of he was trying to find a connection with her, with the girl, and kept asking her in these singular moments that he had with her, you want to get a cup of coffee, or, you want to go out to eat? And it was always no. She had a child she had to get back to. She had work to do. He
kind of, so the very first day that they hang out, when she brings the vacuum, it's that in the evening, and she's like, and he goes to her, stay the night. And she's like, okay, no, fuck no, man. Dude, I did not come here to hook up with you.
Right.
And so she leaves. And then he sees her the next day, and he apologizes. He gives her the CDs that he'd promised her. And he's like, listen, I'm lonely, and you're beautiful, and it was stupid, and I'm really, really sorry. And that's when he's like, can we get a cup of coffee? And he still also has feelings for his ex. because he calls her at
Right.
the end too. And he's like, I'm moving to London. And she's like, oh, great. And I'll pick you up. And he goes, no, I'll find you. And I think that was good because that makes you realize, he needs to think about that. Do I jump right back into what I know because of how I feel about the girl?
Yeah. Do I keep chasing the same thing over and over? Or do I make a change?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was at least, a healthy response in my opinion. But yeah, it does make me fall in love with Ireland though, even, just Dublin area, because the scenes, even in the city scenes, I just wanted to be there. I just, I have such a longing to go to those places in Europe.
Right.
And I don't know, it just calls to me like I'm supposed to be there. Maybe someday.
Yeah, I think that I keep saying I think, but it is what I think.
Oh yeah, and it is a lovely movie, and there's a reason why. Bob Dylan, he fell in love with it. He actually had them sing one of his songs, in one of their songs, in concert. And Steven Spielberg, he said also that this was just perfectly lovely movie. And there's not much. I mean, yeah, you can look at the icky relationship between the two leads in real life, but in the movie, there's nothing that I can see. He didn't overstep his boundaries other than that one time, and she called him out on it and walked away.
Yeah.
She set up a boundary, and even though she tells him in her language that she loves him, she knows that it's like she looks at him and she sees his personality, and it's almost like she has this wisdom in her that if I tell him that I love him, he's going to drop everything.
Oh, yeah, he won't go.
He wouldn't go. And she knew she couldn't.
Or he would want to take her, and there would be no way for them to survive together like that.
Oh, no. He would need to go and be established, and she would need to take care of, because she says, sure, I'll go. Can I take my mother?
Right.
And you knew that would be a problem because, what would they all do? That would just be
Well,
weird.
that was the ludicrous leap that she took so that he would not.
Yeah.
He would understand, well, they're a package deal.
Yeah, you can leave your father behind, because he even says to his dad, are you going to be home, be okay? And his dad's like, well, I survived without you before you came. So, that's a different dynamic where she relies on her mother to help her with childcare, and her mother is, she's still a child. And that's also what's important to understand is she is still a child. She's still growing and she's still developing, and, her brain, and she knows she still needs her mom.
Right.
And she's a baby with a baby. But again, this might just be my romanticizing it, but I do feel like that the relationship between the characters is as healthy as it can be with their age difference.
Well, I think what alleviates a lot of that is, despite the fact that in the movie they are constantly together,
Mm-hmm.
when he's writing music and he's being very emotional, he's sitting at the table, and you realize he's watching a video of his ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he's writing the songs for.
Oh, yeah.
Despite the fact that he is also attracted to her, to the girl, he is conflicted in his own feelings about where he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the music doesn't stop any of that.
No.
So the music still exists. The music still pervades each of these moments. It's what makes him alive.
Well, and you can hear in her, so his girlfriend had cheated on him, which is part of the culmination of them not being together and her moving to London. But also, you hear the two songs that are just Markéta's songs, the girls' songs.
Yes.
And the first one is very much, if you want to be with me, you got to be with me, like kind of.
Well, the song is, if you want,
satisfy, and it's satisfy me.
That's the question she's posing.
But in the second song, the one where she breaks down, is more, you can tell that one is directed at her husband.
Yeah.
That is definitely, and then she breaks down, because it's so emotional. And you know that that's her trying to come to terms to what she knows about, because you don't know why she left him other than what she tells you about his age. But really, there's nothing else there about why they broke up.
Yeah,
where with a guy, she cheated on him. And it was thrown away. And the silly little song that he plays on the bus was actually him. They were playing around between
it was an
takes.
ad-lib,
Yeah, he was just playing around, and that's when he made up the sad Hoover Fixer guy song. And they liked it, so they kept it in. But they didn't tell them until they were watching the film cuts. And that's when they're like, "Oh yeah, you kept that in, kind of a thing, kind of like, hey, look at what we did." But yeah, it's definitely.
Well, it's one of the few moments of actual levity.
It really is. I mean,
and it breaks the music. It breaks the movie up.
Yeah.
To where you're not stuck on this one mode, this one emotion.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like, how when you run, it's almost the act of falling forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tip too far, you fall down.
Mm-hmm.
You always feel in this movie like you're on the precipice of that falling down part.
Falling slowly, would you say?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I guess so. But it really does make you feel like you're kind of falling forward a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you keep like scooting forward, waiting for the moment, waiting for something that changes that tempo. And it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't.
It is a very big tease on that until that moment on the bus where you get that moment of levity where he's actually animatedly, you can tell he's angry, hurt, and happy.
Yeah, he's
all
playful.
At the same time because she's there to be playful with, but he's still very hurt. This is all very raw emotion for him.
Oh, yeah, because like at one point he's like cursing and stuff, and this little old lady turns around and looks at him, and he's like, I'm sorry, because he got too loud and he was being a lot. But, so let me throw a little bit of other levity in it. I had to stop myself a couple times from chuckling whenever not swell season, but when Falling Slowly would play. Shortly after we moved to our farmhouse, and this is before you had moved down there, we were all hanging out, me and the three kids, and my oldest, I guess because I would play that song a lot. So he decided, because we are very bad about singing songs in this house, where we literally, before we even started recording this, we were doing Cakes, Going the Distance, but making up our own lyrics, because I was going the distance, I was going to pee. And
we're making the biscuits.
Yes. So we were doing that. We do this a lot in our house.
I grow them from seeds.
I mean, why? I mean,
I'm making scones.
Oh, God. To go with your tea.
To go with my tea. I know, I'm sorry.
But, so this is something I have done all my life with my children, and my children do this as well.
And obviously I have neuroses.
It's a sickness. We all have it in our household. When we had our dog Mabel, I used to sing Maybelline, Why Can't You Be True? But really right now, I mean, I don't know. Lula has her own song.
They all have songs.
Yeah, but she's got her song that she got the booty. Who's got the booty? Lou's got the booty. But that's not even a real song. But my oldest would go, mashed potatoes, fried potatoes, sweet potatoes. And he would just do that over and over. No other part of the song. He would just come up with different types of potatoes and and just go up and down with that one part in the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to this, trying to not. And for days, I've been having the song in my head when we decided to do this, but I kept singing the potatoes. I swear if I get him on the phone right now, he would be like, oh, you mean the potato song? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what he knows, that's, and I mean, when he first did that, and my dorky child, he is our son and he is a dork. And he was doing his like arms and legs dance that he does. And he's this tall string bean of a thing. And I think he was like 14 at the time. And just singing this potato song, and we were all in tears, and it was so freaking funny. So yeah, I'm scarred now. It took a beautiful song and he destroyed it, and yet I love it so much.
Well, getting back to the movie, both characters, guy and girl, they have this unresolved relationship with people outside of their unresolved relationship. It's like an unresolved relationship turducken.
No, most people would say the Russian nesting dolls, but no, you say turducken.
Because I feel that Russian nesting dolls is pejorative.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like turducken ain't.
In Soviet Russia, the dolls stack you. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Thank you. What was his name? Yakov Smirnov?
That was it. So, yeah, there's not a lot to this movie.
No.
But there's so much to this movie that I think is taken from just your own imagination of what's going to happen, what could have happened, and the dialogue that you enter in yourself.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's also, again, like you were saying, the movie kind of pulls you to this precipice because we are so tuned into tropes and things that we expect to happen in movies. And this movie, while it is not like overtly surprising, it's a lovely little story that does not go where you expect it to go. And so her just walking down the street singing this song because he has an instrumental version of one of the songs. She goes out in her bathrobe, in her little pug slippers to the corner store to get batteries because the Walkman he lent her and then thus gave her. And that was it. When he gives her the CD, she's like, "Do you have a CD player?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, here." And she's like, "I'll bring it back to you." He's like, "No, you keep it." But she didn't even say, "Can I borrow a CD player to listen to the CD?" She's like, "You have one?" Matter of fact.
Well, because he's assuming that she has one.
Yeah.
They have one TV in the building.
Yeah.
To assume that she has a DVD player is kind of insane.
It is. Or
a CD player.
CD player. But so, but she's walking down and she's reading her lyrics that she made for that song, singing them out loud, but you hear the music she's listening to in the headphones. And it's lovely because, again, it is just not where you expect the story to go.
And I know it seems like I'm pausing a lot and talking about the same things over and over, but really for this movie, I'm really just sorry, but I'm looking for the right words to say.
Oh, no. It's true, though.
Because these are other people's emotions. And they're so tightly wrapped up in their own experiences that are clearly they're not actors.
Yeah, they're not. And they didn't do any, and they've both said they will most likely never act again. This was a one-time thing.
And I'm not saying clearly because they did it badly.
No.
I'm saying clearly they did it because they were not projecting themselves in something other than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They were being themselves, playing the part of themselves. And when they did that, it made me confused because with actors acting, I know what they're acting towards.
Mm-hmm.
But with these two people, I'm having to decipher humans humaning, and autism don't do that. I don't understand people enough to be able to understand their actual emotional states.
Yeah.
I am good with a script. I am less good with impromptu, emotional responses. So when an actor is told you're happy here, I get that because they're projecting that happiness.
Mm-hmm.
In this, I'm having to rely on facial cues that I don't fully understand.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of dialogue.
The one thing that I notice is like when his face lights up whenever she comes into a room, because that is the way I feel when you come into a room. That is the only way in which I understand it, is because I know that. That is how I That is entirely how I tell what love is that thing that people are portraying, does it make me feel like when you walk into a room?
Well, you could tell she feels the same way too, like when she reacts to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Although hers is more practical and more guarded because she has she literally says, I have responsibilities at home. Mm-hmm. Because he's willing just to screw off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's like, hey, let's go do this. You know, he kind of nabs his dad's motorcycle that he doesn't have permission to do so with. And, you know, he's like, hey, let's go and, you know, drive around. And then she's like, I can't. I have things to do.
Which speaks to a real displacement here of privilege. Mm-hmm. Yes, he is not well-to-do.
No.
He is, by all accounts, poor. His father is not doing badly, but he's not wealthy by any means.
Yeah.
But he's white. He's a man in his own country. Mm-hmm. She's an immigrant.
Yep.
She has a child. She has her mother there. They're poor. They're living for every flower she sells. That's how they're living.
Yes.
Or any of the other things that she may do. And that is how it works for her. Mm-hmm. She does not have the privilege of screwing off a day.
No.
So when he asks her to play for him to do this is, I don't think people understand when they're watching the film fully what it takes for her to say, okay, I'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's giving up time.
That she could be earning money and to take care of her family.
Right. But also time away from her child. Mm-hmm. They were there till like 5, 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and she's, you know.
And she was willing to do that for him. Mm-hmm. For herself too. Let's not get too twisted on this. It wasn't just for him. She loves music. She loved what she was doing. She was glad to be a part of it. And she does have feelings for him. But she sacrificed time away from her family, away from her work in order to do this.
Yeah.
He sacrificed
very little.
Well, he sacrificed the money he took out and the time away from whatever work the busking or whatever he was going to do, but he already had some money.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's uneven necessarily. I'm just saying there's a difference in the privileges that are allowed between the two.
Yeah.
And she did not have that. And he didn't understand that, but she didn't bother even trying to explain that.
No.
She just told him factually, I have responsibilities. I can't.
No, exactly.
And he accepted that.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is there, again, you know that there's feelings, but there's this distinct, like, respect. He backs off. You know, he likes her, and like when he apologizes to her late, you know, early on in the movie.
Yeah.
He wants to still be with her, but he's not pushing it. He just decides, well, if I want to have what we do have. And that is this friendship where we, have fun together. But right. It is right. As old as he is, he does not have the same responsibilities compared to, this young girl. And it does take its toll. At one point she really wants to go with him on the motorcycle. And then she's like, well, can you have me back by lunchtime? And he's like, yeah, definitely. And she's like, okay, fine, I can go.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I know that, and I know because I looked at the trivia and stuff, that this film was supposed to have a sex scene in it. Mm-hmm. That would have been a badly misguided effort.
It really, really would have been.
I think that was a correct choice to remove it, to not have it in there, because the intimacy you feel between the two would have been spoiled by that.
I agree. I think it would have definitely would have amped the ick factor.
Well, not just the ick factor, but also even if that wasn't the factor, if the age wasn't an issue.
Some stories, it's better to not have, that you don't need it. It's not the be all end all in a relationship, and you know that they're not going to be together. I mean, you don't know, but that's how it ends. And if they had that moment, it would have been, it would have opened up too many questions, and it would have had too many unresolved.
Like she said, you have someone you're in love with,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter how she feels. That complicates the emotion he's already feeling
Mm-hmm.
towards someone else. And she's fairly pragmatic on this stuff. But it's like when you and I were in California, we were very close. We were good friends, but there was nothing sexual about that.
No.
It was just us being friends. We grew into romantic relationships over time.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing only happened over what, a month?
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
the time limit is.
Like, it was filmed in 17 days, but it doesn't really give you a time period for the movie itself.
Yeah, you get the sense that it was maybe about a week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something
very short time.
in that nature, because they had time to get the busking and to build their relationship and stuff. And I just think that all of this culminates into this bigger thing that other people can take away from it. Is it's not about how the movie ends.
No.
It has, and it's not about how they ended, even after the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they made together was something that endures.
Oh, yes.
Regardless of how they do personally, the music they have can keep going.
Well, and that is also true of the real life Glenn Hansard and Markéta Irglová, because even though they are no longer together and they do not make music together anymore, they still have that beautiful album.
Sure.
And it really is a beautiful album. If you have the chance to listen to it, there are songs in there that are completely unexpected, because if you only know Falling Slowly, the others are just like a different mix. I think the one song is called Gold, but it's the one that they sing in the restaurant when they're the guy says, you can't leave unless you can sing. And everybody performs something, and then it's the three guys, and Glenn is one of them, and they sing this song, and I adore it. That is like one of my favorite scenes, is that scene in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I wish she had sang something at that point, but she didn't. But it's just, I think the movie is made up of moments, and I think that's why it's, to me, an overall beautiful movie. It is made up of moments.
I like that it feels organic. It feels very natural, like these natural moments of awkwardness, of sweet, innocent relationship moments.
Mm-hmm.
These things that don't make you obligated to like or love. You can choose to like or love those moments.
Yeah.
You're not, this isn't a pull to an Oscar performance.
Yeah.
It is maybe an Oscar performance on its own merits because it's not trying to be.
And it did win a lot of awards between the movie and the play, and even the performers themselves. Markéta was like the youngest to win, I think, an Oscar award for music. Before that, it was Irene Cara.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And she was 22 at the time. So yeah, so Markéta became, the youngest to win an Oscar for a non-acting role.
Right.
For a musical role. And I think that's pretty cool. So, because this is your first time seeing it, how did the movie make you feel now?
I like it. I was bored. I'm going to say this.
Yeah, it's slow for a short movie.
You're supposed to be bored during the sections that are boring.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept waiting for the things that happened. Like I said, I kept feeling like I was falling forward a little bit. Waiting for the thing. Waiting for the moment where the switch hits and they fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I didn't look into this.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, go into it blind. Or as blind as I could be and know that the music exists.
Yeah.
but I think I like the idea of the romance being quiet. It's so much quieter than the music.
Oh, yeah, no.
The music speaks for it, but obliquely. It never comes out and tells you.
No.
It lets you infer it.
But yet you know who they're singing about in the moment.
Yeah. And I like the fact that when I think about this movie, I don't think about them. I think about our first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think about how we were when we were young,
Mm-hmm.
and how I saw you when you came into our room. This movie reminds me of how much I love you.
Okay.
It's a quiet nod to how much I care about you.
I mean, I was at my my peak Anglophile moment when this movie came into my world. So the whole I know it's Ireland. I don't want to get people yelling at me, but I'm an American, so I know that it is distinctly different from England, but it is all part of the lands I would love to visit.
Sure.
So yes, it was all a part of that. Wales, England, Scotland. I want to see them all. So it was all part of that love. And rewatching it again just reignited that. Like, I really want to go over there so bad. The problem is I won't come back. I won't. I'll be hiding out in some little town in the middle of nowhere and hoping nobody notices that I don't have a visa. Because that's what's going to happen. But so now, though, this movie, it still quietly calls to me. It still holds the nostalgia that I had for it before, remembering how much I liked this movie from the first time I'd seen it. I'm glad I got to rewatch it. I know I'll see it again in the future. I may not see it soon, but I definitely will rewatch it. I'm probably going to pull up the soundtrack on Amazon Music, because that's what I do, because I haven't listened to that in a long time since, other than watching the movie. But you saw me, I was singing along because there's I love the music.
But I'm used to that. You can't not sing along to music or something.
You saw me with Chicago, and that was a fest in itself. Yeah, and if there's a song in a movie that I know, I will sing it.
I thought you changing into the outfits for every...
it was the pug slippers I had.
It was a bit too much.
Oh, I loved it.
No, I meant for Chicago.
Oh, well, that was
The leotard showed up out of nowhere. You had the hat.
It was a flapper. I mean, yeah, I did give him the old razzle dazzle, hey. So it is time for the stitch count. We are going to take this movie. We're going to love on it. We're going to hug it. We're going to maybe bring it out to the streets of Dublin and see who throws some coins at it. And if it falls apart, hey, but we're going to hope that it lives through the Castellini, the inclusivity and gaze lens, and the Trimmer's Gold Standard. So let's check it out.
Okay, well, let's start with the Castellini test.
Sure.
There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue each.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, that's
There's
what I was
no
thinking.
named characters in this movie. Well, no, the baby has a name, but she ain't got dialogue.
There are no named women characters.
No, but there's nobody named in this film.
Right.
So there's no named male
But
characters.
let's say we don't even say named 2 women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue. You've got 1.
You got 1. Oh, Mom, but Mom...
She doesn't have 5.
No, Mom barely speaks to him at the door at the end.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to pass.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
think it's going to pass on the very first one.
No.
So, yeah, we have to say... Although I do want to... Let's go through them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can make the commentary.
Yes, no problem.
So number 2, so it does not pass the first one.
No.
Number 2, those characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship. she does have comments. Girl does have comments with guy.
Yes. And he does talk, they do talk about past relationships
but not about their relationship.
Yeah, not about their relationship.
Right.
And not even with anybody else about their relationship.
And sometimes it's just about the music.
Oh, yeah. But the music talks about relationships.
Sure. At least one of the women has to be integral to the plot, meaning that if she were written out of the film, it could not reach the same ending. And this is the part I wanted to talk about. Because without girl,
he would still be busking.
Guy would still be busking. He would not be going anywhere other than there because Guy was mourning. I don't think he even fully understood what he was doing, but his busking was a eulogy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the song that he sings when she first meets him, that is a painful song. And he's screaming at one point. And I mean, yelling. It's a very loud, singing, but it's definitely heart-wrenching. And he's singing his pain. And I don't think he fully
But even when he's singing happy, like during the daytime when he sings, the songs people want to hear, that is in itself a denial of his own voice. So everything that he is doing in busking at this point, up to this point, is a eulogy.
Yeah.
It is the death of what he feels his heart or his emotions might be, even though he loves music.
Yeah.
And I think without her, he would not have learned to stand up and to love. Not other people, not even her.
But the music again.
To love himself.
And the music again, because at that point he was just doing it.
I don't know. I think he loved music. He just was abusing it. I think he loved his music, but it was all encompassing and it didn't have the guardrails on it that it should. Because to love something obsessively is obsession.
Yeah.
To love something and to be willing to set it aside is what love is. Love is not taking, love is accepting.
Yeah.
And he was taking at the moment because he needed something to continually fall back on. And I think in this case, she allowed him, and he also allowed her, the ability to just love music. And they can build their own relationship, but the music was what they were building their relationship with. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
It fails the Castellini
test. It does fail Castellini, I'm sorry, but yes, because there's not enough characters.
Sure, not particularly feminist in that sense, but it does love music. And if music was a lady, I guess they had a third character. So inclusivity and gaze. This is an on-off situation. You have 4 points that are max. The first one is racial diversity with agency, not just background.
So I think that's it. Again, it's hard because it's not, we don't know. I mean, granted, they are showing you the streets of Dublin, and they are background. They're just background because the main characters are white. I tried to justify it, but no, there was no main characters of color.
I mean,
or of different genders and races. Well, genders, yes, but I mean racial diversity, yeah.
Right. There's not.
So, no.
LGBTQ presence that isn't a punchline or a tragedy, there is none.
None.
Age, body type, or disability treated with dignity.
Well, age is
his father, her mother are treated with dignity.
They are. There is nobody of disability that we know of in the film, but
no one's beating each other up. No one's treating anyone badly.
No, he doesn't even beat up the thief.
Right. No one's treating each other badly.
I'll give it a point for that.
Yeah,
it earned that one.
It gets a point. Camera gaze, not relentlessly sexualized or punitive.
It is not. It is so not. So it gets a point for that one. Tremors gold standard. Oh no, Tremors not Tremors gold standard, but Tremors index. Yeah.
Where do you see it falling on here?
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say 1. It's not, but I'm gonna say it anyway, just to be controversial.
Okay, I actually agree with you, though. Some inclusive instincts, but uneven follow through.
Like, she's very, you can tell that the apartment she lives in, that there's people of all sorts living together. So, and she's just indifferent towards it. Like, it's not...
It's inclusive.
Yeah.
Without being, Characters show skill, but authority still defaults to the usual suspects, which is true.
True.
Because while you have the two main characters, guy and girl, they have almost all the speaking parts if there's speaking to be done, and everyone else is there to play.
Well, yes. And even then, like, she's talented, but it's his music.
Yeah, he is the one directing all of this until he defaults to her, but they're not defaulting to other people outside the two of them.
No. And progress, but with friction. Yes, because the friction is that she's not going with him. It's not so much friction in a fight sense, but it's not giving you the ending that
it's
you
emotional
expect.
friction,
Yeah.
sure.
You're not getting the ending.
Yeah, so we'll say one. It approaches Tremors' partial competence.
Okay.
So while not at the standards of Tremors, it is within it.
Yeah, so that unfortunately gives it a 3 out of 9.
Which is our opinion on these aspects of the movie and not our opinion of the movie.
No, because the movie is not... It's not a feminist film, but yet if you watch, I think that the girl is very feminist in the fact that she
stands up for herself.
She is taking care of her world. She does not cower to, like, she doesn't need a man to take care of her. Like, her husband doesn't come back from the Czech Republic until the end of the movie. You don't know what caused them to reconcile. You don't know what was brought about their relationship problems, but she was taking care of her family. There was this, I am now responsible for my daughter and my mom.
Right.
And I don't need anybody else to do it for me.
I agree.
And that's an equity about, it's just, to me, that makes her very feminist, is to be able to do that. And just her very forwardness too. If I bring this to you, you're going to fix it, right?
I know.
You have a seat.
Well, is that pragmatic? I mean, it's kind of like built into the Czech spirit. Mm-hmm. You're very practical about things, and you have things that need to get done.
Yes.
I need this fixed. You said you fixed them. Fix it.
And it totally could be like them doing this play on English being her second language. But I don't think so. I just think it's her very pragmatic personality.
Well, yeah, I think it's just a artifact of the pragmatic people.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate
trying to
that.
say it in the best way possible.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate that.
I don't think the Czech people are stubborn. I think they have lived through hard times in their country, and they have learned to survive it.
Oh, no, 100%. To deal with what, even to this day, Eastern European people have to deal with on the regular.
Fall of Soviet Union. We have so many different things that happen. It's
always in flux, and it's got to be mind-numbing after a while to know, what is my country called? This country is now no longer existing. And then to know that, you have people who are part of those countries, but now, and it's that constant, like, absorbing.
Well, that's all very old news to them now, but
no, but it's still happening, though.
Sure.
There's still revolutions and there's still turmoil. Yeah. And, there's
still the threat of being reabsorbed.
Well, and the fact that, those of us who remember, hey, Yugoslavia was a thing.
Yeah.
They had a car.
True.
My mom had one.
So thank you for joining us for Once 2007 or 6. This has been Cozy Quilt Cinema with Beth and Michelle. We loved having you in our blanket fort as we shared our feelings on the movies we had well after they were over. The beautiful thing about the stories that really stay with us is that they follow us everywhere. On the streets of Dublin, or wherever melody finds you on an ordinary day. No matter where in the world you're listening from, and in the right film selection, a little honest look at your own unfinished songs you might just find yourself humming something true through every feeling this one stirred up. To keep those feelings going, go to our website at cozyquiltcinema.com, follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Cozy Quilt Cinema, or send your feedback and personal reflections to cozyquiltcinema@gmail.com. You can always find our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, so please consider subscribing and leave a rating to help our podcast grow.
And don't forget to check out our other podcast, Between Myth and Belief, if you like to listen to some odd information. So, until next time, I brought my Hoover. You fixed?
You fixed now, right?
You fixed now, right?
I don't know if she said that.
Something like that. I'm really bad with quotes.
I don't have a quote on this one.
No, but we've established that I am shitty with quotes.
They call me Mr. Tibbs. No, that doesn't.
Nah.
That's not good.
I love you. Bye.
We're just going to say bye. It's fine.
Bye.